Well, welcome again, everybody. Um, my name is Billy Effick. I will be talking to us today from our training location in Atlanta, Georgia. If you've been following this series, we started this particular lab and project by learning how to clone Oracle Home from an existing production server. We cloned it. We actually logged in, tested it. Everything is looking good. So that lab is required for this particular one. It is absolutely necessary that you complete that lab before this one. In this lab, we are going to uh, duplicate the database using RMAN duplicate. We're going to duplicate the production database, and we are going to bring it to our UAT server. The word UAT stands for User Acceptance Test. In some environment, they may call it a stage, and the stage is usually a replica of production, the exact replica of production. So that final developments that are migrated from dev will be migrated to stage and thoroughly tested and before they are moved to production. Some companies have more environments than just one or two. Some will have what we call CRP environment, conference room pilot test environment. But the part of the job of a DBA is to be able to clone the database. And we are going to, in this lab, clone the database to a UAT server, which I call stage. And the database will be coming from the production. Our aim at the end of the day, like I said earlier, is to have a replica, the exact replica of your production on this server. Now, this is a very critical skill for a DBA to have. Though we are going to do it, line by line, this lab probably run you about 1 to 2 hours, but it will make sense for you at some time to try to create a shell script that will automatically do this without your attending to it, and that can be done. Because if we can do something repeatedly and in routine fashion, line by line, we can as well script it and just run the script. All right, let's begin. Here we have a server called PTUAT server, which we created earlier. You should have at least 3 gig of RAM on this server. If you have enough memory, be generous, give it 4 gig, 6 gig, whatever you want to give it, depending on the total memory. That machine, if you have created it, has 60 gig of hard drive, and the domain name is PT staging, alias PT staging, and then PT dev 1. These are the aliases. Again, LAB7B, the previous lab that closed the Oracle Home, is absolutely crucial for your crucial to your ability to do this one. All right, let's begin. Let's quickly take a look at our server again. I'm logging into the server right now. Let me check my host file. By the way, what is the host name of this server? ptstaging.domain. I do not want to deal with IP addresses. You can set these things up that you're not dealing with IP addresses, because I can't keep up with remembering all the numbers, but I can remember the domain name. I have gone ahead and made a second tab for myself to make the job easier. And I'm going to make a tab right here, another tab. I'm going to switch user to root. I'm switching user to root so that I will have the root user ready to go if I need to run the root script. All right, we will follow our lab line by line. Define connection. Yeah, we already have that connection. Log in as Oracle. Go to the Oracle home. Make sure confirm that you have this in your .bash, your environment variable. Because the production server, the seed is PTDB. The seed is PTDB. We have given this staging server also the same Oracle seed. All right, let's check if we have all that. Now we don't have that in our .bash, but be very sure where you are, because .bash is, oh, there you go, there's an error. I could have been updating the root .bash. We should be updating the Oracle.bash. In AIX Unix and some other flavors of Unix, your .bash file is actually called .profile. So you see, we have already gone ahead and made the entry in our .bash file. So the environment variable is properly set. Next slide. We are going to create a listener. Ensure that we have a listener running at port 1521. 1521 is the default port. You can always use another port number or even call the listener another name. But because we want to replicate the production server, we want to keep the names the exact same, the port the exact same. So we are going to create the listener for this server. For this, because of the graphic user interface, I am going to use NetCA Net Configuration Assistant. So now we are going to use NetCA we're going to use NetCA to configure our listener. NetCA, I'm sure by now everybody knows about that. I need to log into the server first. SSH Oracle at PT staging. So I'm in the server and I'm invoking NetCA right now. So I'm invoking NetCA there. We have NetCA running. We want to create the listener. So using listener configuration. Next, there is no listener at all, so we are adding the listener right there on the server side. It will be called listener, and the protocol will be TCP. The port will be 1521 as we indicated. Do you want to configure another one? No. Yes, there's our listener. Our listener is done, finished. And just to confirm that now we got the listener already started. The listener has started already. And just to confirm to you that we have entry in our listener.aura. If we do a change directory, Oracle, no, I don't have to change directory. I'm just going to cat Oracle home network admin listener .aura. So we see that we have a listener. The name is listener, and that's the domain name. Ensure that this doesn't say localhost or something that you didn't agree with. So make sure you double check it, and then we know that this listener is already running. Status of the listener. The listener is running, but there is no database. Listener support no service. Right now, there is no database to support. Okay, let's proceed. So we created the listener. Now, this UAT stage environment will be exact replica of production. This is very important. It will be the exact replica of production. So we are going to, we could have copied the password file in production over here, but I want to use this opportunity to show you how to create the password file from scratch. So we could have just copied it from production, but let's create the password file. The command is RMAN, and then you indicate where the file will be. Usually the password file is in Oracle Home DBS, and usually the name of the password file will be RMPW, then the seed. Okay, the password of C's will be indicated here, and then how many people will be sysdbs in this environment? How many users will be sysdbs? For here, I just left it as 5. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Now again, be careful when you copy these commands from the PDF. Be careful that sometimes the PDF may insert funny characters in there. Be careful to edit them properly. So matter of fact, I'm going to open Notepad and drop that command in so that I can modify it before dropping it in Unix. I think everything is now. This is what I was talking about. You see, I pasted that and it closed that space. Yeah. So make sure you dress it up very well. If you have to copy paste, we need that space over there. We need that space over there. So I'm going to give a sys password. Give a sys password right here. Okay, then I copy that. This is absolutely important so that you don't have errors. So I'm creating the password file right now. Password file created. And if you want to quickly check it out, if we go to if we list the content of Oracle Home DBS, now we have a password file created already. Okay, let's proceed. So we've created the password file. We need to make TNS entries both for the production server and the stage. So I can use netca to do this, but let's just cut our journey short a little bit. Keep doing the NCA will make people learn more. All right, the observation, somebody observed that I should use netca so that we can see how to do that with netca. Let's go back and use netca. Netca. We are going to create. Oh, by the way, this is not in that documentation, but let's create the connection method. The connection method, whether it will be directory naming, local naming, easy connect. So we will allow easy connect, and we will allow directory naming, local naming, so that we will have a TNS name .aura on the client machine. We're not going to have directory naming. Allows us to integrate it with Active Directory or Oracle Internet Directory. Next, done. So let's create the TNS entries. Next, add a TNS entry. Now, as you can see, when we did this, let's go to the folder for our network components. Change directory, Oracle Home Network Admin. So here we do not, we do have it. Okay, we started the TNS name. That's why. So now, what is the service in the production server? The seed of the production server. PDDB. TCP, please. what is the host name of the production server? What port? 1521. Do you want to test this connection? Yes, you want to test it because the database already exists. Let's test this connection. At first, it will not succeed because Oracle put the username password there. I'm just going to use the system. Let's just use the HR username password. HR and then the HR password. And it succeeded. It was able to connect with that server. He said, what are you going to call this connection you have defined? What is the bookmark, the alias, the net service name? I'm going to call it prod. You want to do another one? I'm going to say no so that I can show you something. Finish. So now if we cut our listener.aura right now, we now have the listen. Oh, I'm sorry. We should be cutting the TNS name.aura. TNS name.aura. So now we cutted our TNS, then we now have prod defined. Agreed? We have prod defined. Now this is for the production server, but for this server we need a TNS entry. Okay, I can use netca to do it again, but nothing stops you from doing this. vi TNS name.aura. I already have this one, so I copy it. I for insert, make a space there, right click, paste it. Okay, now I'll go in there and change this to stage. Oops. And then the stage is the domain name of the stage is pt staging.domain. Be very careful. One little mistake can cause you to have all kinds of errors. And the port will be 1521. The seed is PTDB. So the alias is stage. Escape, right, quit. So now we now have that. Okay. So we've created the TNS entry. Now we need to create a parameter file that we will use to start this stage. If we copy the parameter file in the production server, it will contain a lot of information that are local to the production server. So I don't want to copy that. Again, since I know that RMAN can automatically create for me the SB file, all I need is the temporary parameter file with which to start this stage in no mount mode. Because remember, we can't get into no mount if we don't have a parameter file. So I'm going to create an initial parameter file. I'm going to call it init seed.aura. Okay, let's copy that. I'm going to create it by doing a vi Meanwhile, let me show you what is in this location. Oracle Home DBS. We do, so we have the password file. We do not have a parameter file. So now I'm going to do that VI to put the parameter file there. The parameter file will be called initseed.aura. The only thing you are required to put in this parameter file is the name of the database. This is optional. This is used only when there will be a name change. And you're going to see us do that. So, only the name of the database, the seed. So now, if we do an ls, we now have a parameter file. That's what we will use to start the database. Okay, next slide. So all we need to have is the name of the database in our parameter file. Now we need to create folders that will hold our data file, our FRA, our control file. If we were using DBCA to install the database, which is what you did earlier, all these folders will be created automatically. But we are not using DBCA. We are manually, we're going to clone this database using RMAN duplicate. So these folders should exist already. All right, so as usual, like I said, make sure you deal with spaces. This last one is so crucial that you're going to have an error in RMAN if you don't create this folder. It's easy for me to do this and make sure that I don't have errors.
That's an error. You push the R.
See now I'm having an error right there. Well, errors are good in this class. Celebrate your errors. So now we have this, the last one. Okay. Be careful how you try to bunch them and run them at the same time. I'm just going to be safe and copy paste them one by one. I could have saved time by bunching them up. But since I'm not going to get a response that says one folder created, I won't know what ran and what didn't run. But in a script, I will bunch them up in a script. When you have a spare time, I will task you with automating this process so that one Unix script is written and this thing is just done. Okay, so we've made those directories right now. Now these two are optional. In 11G release 2, we don't need to create them. Now, we need to copy the backup from the production server. And the backup is in our FRA. The backups are in our FRA, in our production server. So we need to copy it. Only do this one if the database is in archive log mode, so that we can copy the archive logs. But we need the backup, we need the control file auto backup. By the way, how do we find out if the database is running in archive log mode? There are different ways we can do that. Let's log into the production server and actually find out. Where is our production server? Be careful to name these things appropriately so that you don't start searching for stuff. One way to find out if this server is running in archive log mode, let's log in at the 6DBA. I can just type the command archive log list, and it tells me that that archive log is enabled, that I'm in archive log mode. Let me show you another way of finding out. Select log mode from $V database archive log. So this server, this production server is in archive log mode. So now we must copy the archive log also. By the way, let's quickly check the FRA. Where is our FRA, people? In directory, Oracle base, F. And let's go to the seed. PTDB is the seed. So what we have is the archive log folder, the control file and parameter file auto backup, and then the backup set. Let's see for what date do we have backup. So we have backup for the 25th of November. See that? So if we go to the control file auto backup, we have backup for the 12th, 25th, and the 4th. I want to limit this backup to the backup of the 25th. Because I don't want to spend too much time copying relevant things. Let's look at our archive log. Oh well, let's just keep it simple. Oh, we have a lot of archive logs generated. Okay, let's keep it simple so that we don't run into an error of when we start copying these files. Okay, let's go back. I painted my cloud server, my production server blue, so that we don't make the mistake of running commands in the wrong place. So you can change the colors of these things. I'll go back to my stage server. I'm about to begin to copy the backup to mine. So first of all, I copy that. I am using secure copy. The DBA will have all kinds of options of copying things. But if you are copying from a Unix server to a Unix server, secure copy will do it. And here's how secure copy does it. Secure copy -R means if the folder don't exist, create it. We are logging into the cloud server using the Oracle user. So the cloud server is Vision Tech 11G Linux.shell.http.com. We are going to this folder over here, to the folder called, and we are copying everything in the archive log folder. We are copying everything and we are taking it to this folder here. Now, if this folder does not exist on the staging server, it will be automatically created because of the -R. So I copy that and I'm pasting it here, and everything looks good. All my spaces are well defined, and this will take a little bit of time to copy. As a matter of fact, why don't I copy the smaller files first? Because the archive log usually will be huge. I'm going to copy the smaller files first. I'm going to copy the control file, and then I copy the backup set before I copy the archive log. I don't need to retype that command.
So the order you do them is not.
It's irrelevant. It's just it's a copy. So this one is auto backup. So I go back there. I'm trying to change the folder. I want to copy auto backup. You will need the password of the server to be able to do so. And the copy has begun. 36, 59%, 82, 100%. That was quite fast. So it's copied the control file and parameter file auto backup. We've copied that. So now I want to copy the backup set. When scripting this is in a Unix shell script, I guess your immediate challenge will be that the fact that secure copy will require a password from you. So if you wanted to schedule this job to run, you will be required to put a password at some point. But that can be handled by setting up trust between the two servers. It's called user equivalency, where you make this server trust the other one and it no longer requires a password. Now you gotta know a little bit of Unix to do that. So we are copying the password. This will run for a little bit of time. We have copied the control file auto backup. We have copied the backup set. Now we want to copy the archive log. The archive log from the cloud server, from our production server. Let's copy the archive log. Now, remember the archive logs are going to be huge, so they may take a long time to copy. Alright, we are still copying the archive logs. It will take a minute to copy. Just be patient. Alright, we have done a copy of our archive logs using secure copy, and we are going to proceed. Like I said, the archive log will be a lot, so we're proceeding. Now at this point, it will be nice that you take a quick image of a snapshot of your virtual machine, because we are about to drastically change this machine by cloning the database. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick image of this machine. How do you do that? So this is the machine. I'm going to take an image, snapshot, take a snapshot, and we are supposed to call it before RMAN stage clone. Before RMAN stage clone. So this is the image before RMAN stage clone. So I'm taking a quick snapshot, so I can always revert back there if I'm not satisfied with what has happened. Of course, you will not be able to do this in real production environment. All right. And then we are going to log into the database in no mount mode. And because we have the parameter file that we created initially, we can log into the database in no mount mode. And the parameter file will be used, the P file that we created, initseed.aura. Start up no mount. So this will read the parameter file. Okay, we are in no mount mode. We're going to log into RMAN next. Exit. And then we're going to log into RMAN. You can take a one-step approach and log into the target and the auxiliary at the same time. The database the stage is called auxiliary. The source database is called target. Or we can log into it one step at a time. Let's try it one step at a time. RMAN. So we are in RMAN. We're going to connect auxiliary, which is this stage instance, not mounted. That's correct. And then we're going to connect the target, connect the target that's the username at fraud, and then we provide the password for sys. Prod here is the alias, the net service name. Okay, so that database is open. So using RMAN, we have connected to two databases at the same time, two environments. This is the PTDB not mounted. This is the production database right there. So now we are going to issue this command: duplicate target database to the seed, create the SP file, no file name check, overwrite files if need be. Make sure that we don't have spaces. Duplicate database to the seed. So this is the seed right here. Make sure you create server parameter file in the process and no file name check. So that's the command right there. Never mind all this gibberish right there. This is the real command. So we are about to do that. So the duplication process starts. Starting the duplication process. Before, the DBA had to write all these scripts, and everything has been shortened into one command: duplicate database. And so all these scripts are being produced by that and executed at the same time. You see that? Clone the database, alter system, set the database name to that, modify, shut down. So it's now reading the backup in our FRA. Those backups were copied to our FRA. Now the database is mounted. And so these are the data files. It's executing the command, and it will create new names where applicable. In this case, we are keeping the same seed. and it's restoring data files. We have 18 data files. They are being restored right now from the backup in the FRA. Doing this with Oracle, RMAN duplicate database has become so simple, because then you would, if not for that, you would have had to manually produce all these commands and write the scripts yourself, which is not difficult really. It's just that Oracle has revamped a lot of the RMAN tools and making everything easy for us. So the data files are being restored. So the data files have been copied, and we are now in recovery mode. We are in recovery mode, recovering to that particular system change number, and it's going to delete all the archive logs. I just wanted to show you how to copy all that. We really didn't need all the archive logs. Okay, we ran into a little error here. No backup of archive log for thread 1 with sequence, missing this, starting with that, found to restore. We can fix that, get the appropriate backups and the archive log is looking for, or at this stage, I'm very sure you already got the gist, you got the idea. So if all the logs were complete, the database would have been opened automatically. But when you do this, make sure you fix all the issues that arise. But let me use this opportunity, even though it's not in this slide, to show you that this is not a showstopper, because usually when you are cloning database to a dev environment, even yesterday's backup is good. 11G release 2 does give us the ability to clone a live running database. In other words, the database will be cloned live without using the backup. So let me do this: SQL plus /@6dba, and if I attempt to start up this database, let's see what it says. So it's in no mount right now. Cannot use this control file to open the database. The database, watch this, the database has been mounted. The database has been mounted. Now let me show you something. I'm not expecting you to have this error, but let me show you something that we can actually open it by saying alter database open reset logs. Okay, we can actually reset log. Okay, we have a problem with the control file. We can fix that problem with the control file, or this will be a good opportunity for you to go back to the snapshot and do it again. Alright, let me quickly analyze what is going on. What happens is that I do not have these archive logs in the backup, from 533 to 539, because if I go take a look at the error we had, this unable to perform media recovery because of this is missing from 533 to 539. And when I checked, I found out that I don't have that in my backup over here. So what I'm simply going to do is copy them. All right, people, we had a little error. I've succeeded in copying the specific logs that were missing, 539, 533 to 539. We are going to try that again. RMAN target database, login as sys, at prod, the auxiliary is this particular one. I need to make sure that I'm in no mount mode. Need to be sure I'm in no mount mode. SQL plus / as sysdbn. Start up no mount. I want to bring the listener up. Listener has already started. This is the password for sys on the production server. So it's logged into both of them. The auxiliary, which is the clone one, is not mounted. The production server is open and running. Duplicate. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Duplicate database to the seed SP map keys backspace sense delete. We'll take care of all that. SP file create no file name check. The duplication process, I restarted it. So our SP file is going to be called SP file seed.aura. All right, as I said earlier, we were missing certain archive logs, so we were able to get them, and so now we have recovered fully, and so we have cloned the database. The database is open, but I just paused to show you that actually, if it was recovery till a particular time, we can open the database and reset log. But now we have rectified the problem. The database is now open and is finished. We can actually log into it. Let's log into it. SQL plus / as sysdbn. Okay, there we go. Select open underscore mode from v $database. Oh, what did I type there? Okay, so we are in read write right now. We've mounted, we've opened. All right, let's round up this exercise by we have logged in as 6DBA. Let's log in using the TLS name entry. Let's log into HR. Connect, because I'm already inside Sigo Plus. HR at stage. Oh, I have all kinds of gibberish there. Let's just exit. SQL plus HR at stage. So we provide the HR password and we are in. And the lab says we should select start from department. There we go. So we have successfully cloned the cloud server. We can recreate Enterprise Manager by providing this command. We're gonna make sure that we recreate Enterprise Manager. We recreate the Enterprise Manager repository. Enterprise Manager repository is going to be recreated. Be careful about the spaces again. Config DB control. We're going to provide the series PTDB. The port is 1521. That's the listening Enterprise Manager, the CIS password. The same password for the CIS was given for DBS and MP. The same password for CIS was given to SysMan. This is not always true in a typical production environment. Yes, we want to do this. Now this may take a minute. Now we have successfully dropped any repository information, and now we are about to recreate Enterprise Manager repository. Now this will take a little while, so you have to be patient. All right, we have recreated our Enterprise Manager, the repository. Let's attempt to log in. We are being told that it's successful. Enterprise Manager has been configured. Now let's check the status. EMCTL status DB console. Checking the status, and it's running, and it's port 1151. I'm going to copy that. I click copy, I'm open a browser, and I'm going to drop it on a browser right away, and Firefox finds it, add exception, confirm security, and there we go. We have now been able to log into the stage environment that has just been cloned, which is a replica of our production database. There we go. So there is a replica of our production database. Very quickly, we need to add this to our Aura tab as root. Switch user to root. Let's see, have I done that before? Okay, we don't have an entry in our Aura tab. Switch user to root. If you don't add this to your Aura tab, DBCA will not see it. That's been my experience. So the seed is PTDB : paste that. Oh, by the way, we got that already, so I didn't need to type that. Okay, escape, right, let it go, escape, right, and quit. So now we've added that to our Aura tab, and well, friends, that's the end of LAB7B. We have cloned the production database to our stage. In the next lab, you are going to clone the production database, but the backup will not be in your FRA. Your backup will be in another location, and we will change the seed. We will call that our dev environment. The seed will not be PTDB, but the seed will be dev1. All right, thank you so much for giving me audience. See you in the next video. Thank you.